Hi guys, welcome back. So I'm gonna go through this real quick. I haven't read this yet. This is Starfield's story so far, basically giving us some world lore. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff, and learning it about 2 weeks before the game comes out. Probably gonna be some cool information here that I haven't heard yet. Other than that, I mean, I think that Starfield begins. Yes, okay, so yeah, 2330 is when Starfield begins, all the way at the bottom. So in order to get there, we're going to find out basically the history of Earth and human civilizations, kind of frontier and exploration into space and relocating and colonizing new star systems. So let me get into this before I just keep dragging on and on. By 2050, we arrive on Mars, which is later than our current estimations are, which is kind of cool because this game is supposed to be pretty grounded. And then by 2100, humans are living in space. So within 50 years, we're able to make homes in space, I assume living on space stations. That means there must be some kind of artificial gravity that enables long-term space travel. Because if people are able to live up there and not have any adverse effects from space, then that means they have mastered at least, I don't want to say artificial gravity, perhaps, but they can also simulate gravity. I don't know if that's considered artificial. I guess it is fake. It's not real, but do you understand what I'm saying? I hope. If you're into a space game, you get what I'm talking about, kinda. I hope. I'm not being incoherent. Humans arrive in Alpha Centauri in 2156, so 106 years after we go to our first we become interplanetary. Now we're intersolar system. I don't know how to say that. We're interstellar. Sorry, I don't know how to say that. It's like one of my favorite movies. So yeah, we become interstellar at that point. We're going using seemingly light speed travel at that point, or faster than light warp travel, which I think is more gameplay friendly. So I think they're gonna go with that. Then 2159, the United Colonies are established. Only for 3 years after they arrive in Alpha Centauri and colonize the system. A year later, New Atlantis is founded and becomes the official capital of the United Colonies in 2161. So 2 years after they establish the United Colonies and 5 years after they seemingly start a settlement, they turn it into a major capital city for an entire group of a government full of people. Cheyenne is settled by Solomon Coe. Solomon Coe, I think that's someone we're gonna meet, maybe not meet in the story, but maybe a descendant of him. I feel like I've seen or heard something about a guy named that. Cheyenne, I think, is a star system, and Aquila City seems to be the main city settlement in that star system. Probably another big city like New Atlantis we're going to be able to visit. I think that's what it is, in fact. So that city's going to have, just like New Atlantis is going to have like 150 years of history. Coe invites Vali to join Cheyenne in a new alliance, the Free Star Collective. Free Star Collective is officially formed in 2189. I don't know too much about the Free Star Collective. I just know that they're one of the factions in the game. I don't know exactly how bad they are. I guess I'm going to find out in a few seconds if they're bad or not. Excuse me. The United Colonies positions the star station called the Clinic in orbit around Deepala in the Narion system. The unaffiliated peoples of the Narion system see this as a UC attempt to expand their borders and demand the UC, the United Colonies, to remove the clinic. When the United Colonies refuses, the people of Narion vote to join the Free Star Collective, who mobilize to protect the system in 2195. So we've just gotten to these star systems, and now we're already kind of drifting into what looks like a small civil war, maybe a big civil war. It's like a space civil war, so that's pretty crazy. But it doesn't seem like it's gotten to that part yet. They're just mobilizing. In response to the Free Star mobilization, the United Colonies moves a fleet into the Narion system, and Free Star responds in kind. The Narion War begins. Wow, okay, so there is a civil war already breaking out between these guys. So 20 years later, the Narion War drags on as public sentiment sours. Finally, the Treaty of Narion is signed by the United Colonies and Free Star Collective in 2216, ending the conflict, and the term settled systems is formalized in the treaty. Okay. So that's where we get the settled systems from. That's the one thing that I keep hearing about in these trailers and with Todd Howard and talking on all these shows and shit. He's actually been more vocal than ever. I think it's a new way of advertising. You have to go on podcasts and stuff, and that's kind of cool because you get like a all access kind of deal with them. That was a really good one with Lex Friedman. The Freestar Rangers in 2221, so roughly 200 years from now, give or take 2 years. The Freestar Rangers are founded as an elite, protective, and investigative force dedicated to serving all citizens of the Freestar Collective. The Freestar Collective seems to still be doing stuff within. They're not just kind of like a big happy government. They've just agreed that the systems under a treaty, and they're all called the settled systems. I suppose it's like a ceasefire, more permanent ceasefire, but things are still like shaky probably between the two groups. And the Freestar Collective seems to be systems within the United Colonies that have their own kind of national pride. I don't know, that's what I would assume, or worldly pride, whatever you want to call it. 2275, Constellation is formed by Sebastian Banks. Original members include Chloe Bao, accomplished physicist. I'm gonna probably say some of these names wrong. Aja Mamasa, the youngest member and Sebastian's protege. Darius Andrus, botanist and specialist in xenoflora. Bernadette Lauret, wealthy heiress and adventurer. Everardo Gil, former smuggler. And Kadri Toma, biologist and physician. Nice cast of characters, it seems there. The lodge is built in New Atlantis to serve the needs and people of Constellation for generations to come. 2305. I don't know who Barrett is, but Barrett joins Constellation. Possibly a character we'll meet in the game. I think, at least. I think it's close enough to where we are in the main timeline. 2307. The Freestar Collective starts farming on the planet of Vesta in the Lunara system. Lunara? Okay, I said it right. By 2308, the United Colonies claims that establishing a colony in a fourth star system, the Freestar Collective, has violated the Treaty of Narion. Diplomatic talks break down, and the UC lays siege to Vesta, killing anyone who stayed behind or was brought in. To defend it, the colony war officially begins. Okay, wow, so they go back to war because these guys started to venture off and get another planet, which was against the treaty, which they seen as a breach of the treaty. 2310, Constellation comes into possession of their first artifact and tucks it away in the Constellation archives. Now, I think that the artifacts are going to have to do with the storyline. I think that's going to be that magic space shit that's going on that I'm super excited to discover, because if I could, you know, have guns and Skyrim magic, it's also space magic, I'm with it. I don't know, it just sounds awesome to me, because Bethesda knows how to do it. 2311, so a year later, after several years of conflict, the colony war effectively comes to an end with the Battle of Cheyenne, as a flotilla of civilian and military Freestar Collective ships takes down the major ships of the UC, United Colonies Navy, using hit and run tactics. Okay. Then 2315, a few years later again, the United Colonies Vanguard is founded as part of a United Colonies response to the Freestar Collective. Freestar Collective's use of citizen ships during the colony war. The Vanguard is the United Colonies' own civil navy, relying on civilians using their own ships who pledge to protect the United Colonies and its interests. The ultimate reward for this service, citizenship in the United Colonies. Okay, relying on civilians using their own ship. Okay, that's pretty cool. I guess you get like, I kind of, it feels NCR-y. Maybe, I could be wrong. 2319, Sarah Morgan becomes the youngest head of the United Colonies Navigator Corps, though its short-lived position as the division is shut down in 2320. Cast adrift, but still eager to put her training to good use, Morgan joins Constellation. 2321, Walter Stroud, co-owner of Stroud Euclid, one of the Settled Systems' premier starship manufacturers, joins Constellation and becomes its primary financial backer. That's good to know. That's cool. Seems like they're going to get some money, and that's where we're going to kind of come in over here. 2322, 8 years before the start of Starfield, former Crimson Fleet pirate Vladimir Sol joins Constellation. We're going to have a fucking pirate with us when we play the game. 2325, Sarah Morgan becomes the acting chair of Constellation. I think that might be the blonde girl from the trailers. 2325, Theali Logian Mateo Katri joins Constellation. Is that a name? I'm not even gonna try saying it again, but that's cool. That TMK, that's the guy. TMK, that's my boy. That guy's gonna fucking, I don't know what he does, he just joined. Barrett finds the original artifact in 2326 in the Constellation archives and knows it must be special. This is 4 years before the beginning of the events. So we found the artifact in 2310, and then this guy finds it 16 years later and is like, okay, this thing's crazy. What the fuck did we find 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. 2326, after months of correspondence with Sarah Morgan, graduate student and gifted scientist Noelle is invited to join Constellation. They're adding people to the roster, kind of giving us an idea of this whole team that we're going to be working with when we join Constellation. I'm excited to see how that happens. 2327, Freestar Ranger Sam Coe and his daughter Cora join Constellation. A year later, this girl person Andreja joins Constellation. And 2328, Barrett convinces Constellation to purchase Star Station L868 and modify it to become a deep space scanner nicknamed the Eye. And then 2 years later, Starfield begins. I'm very excited for this game, guys. It looks like it's going to be awesome. I really truly think that this is going to be something that occupies a lot of my time in the next like month. Yeah, it's going to be bad. I might die down here. Who knows? Last thing they'll see is like me at the very end of the game. I didn't make it. I hope not. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys are excited for Starfield, comment down below. Yeah, I'm happy to have just gone through this and kind of, see it. I'm kind of a little, I'm a few in right now, and it's funny because I could barely read or see straight. But we did it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.